This right here just might be the best push-up to do if you're looking to build some bigger and stronger triceps while also keeping your shoulders healthy and happy in the process. Now, if you want to learn why this is, stick around and watch this video. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. All right, push-up variations that we can do in order to challenge the triceps more than just a standard push-up. Now, there are a lot of different variations that exist and a lot of them are super great, but today I'm gonna show you one that not only really hammers the triceps, but also keeps your shoulders in a little bit more of an ideal position than some other common variations. And me, being the physical therapist and the strength and conditioning specialist that I am, I'm always really trying to find exercises for individuals that not only are effective at what they do, but also avoid unnecessary aches and pains in the process. Now, I've got timestamps in the description below if you just want to jump to a particular section of the video. I want to be very mindful of your time, but before we dive into the Sphinx push-up and how to do it and why it's so good for blasting the triceps while keeping your shoulders healthy in the process, let's quickly talk about some of the common variations for really kind of challenging triceps more on push-ups and why they might not be the best variations to do. Now, with that being said, keep in mind that I am not saying that these are bad variations, these other traditional ones I'm going to talk about. Rather, it's important to keep in mind that everyone's body responds a bit differently to movement. We all have different overall health status and previous injuries and other things going on with our body. So it's important to understand why certain variations may be good sometimes and why they might not be as ideal. Now, when it comes to shoulder health with these push-up variations, the big one that I'm always considering when it comes to doing variations that challenge a tricep a bit more are some of these common ones where people will either take a standard push-up and to really challenge the tricep more, they're gonna go into either a more narrow type of push-up or even what we call like a diamond push-up where they're really bringing the hands together in a diamond shape and then pressing like that. Now, that does challenge the triceps a bit more. However, it's important to realize that for a lot of individuals, that motion of either internally rotating the shoulder, so bringing the shoulder inwards more while doing a push-up or a pressing motion, or even in a very narrow type of push-up, can irritate the shoulders for a couple of different reasons. Now, this doesn't always happen, but it's just something important to keep in mind. So if you're not having success with more narrow grip or diamond styled push-ups, that's why the Sphinx push-up might be the best alternative for you. So when doing a movement such as the more internally rotated diamond push-up to really challenge the triceps a bit more, well, it's important to understand that there's some delicate tissues in that front that if you're kind of doing a loaded resistance movement or a lot of repetitive resistance movement in that internally rotated position, you can often sometimes pinch or irritate some delicate structures in and around the front of the shoulder. One of those just being the long head biceps tendon, which kind of runs right up through here. Sometimes that can get irritated on people. And you start irritating that thing and boy, that can be a stubborn thing to try and recover from. Now, something like the more traditional style narrow grip push-up, again, not a bad thing, but sometimes that extra range of motion that we have to go through with really letting the shoulder come far back puts a big stretch there, and again, sometimes overstretches and irritates some of the delicate tissues in there, especially if they're not used to that bigger range of motion. But fear not, because we've got the Sphinx push-up, and this is going to be a push-up that, while it doesn't necessarily look like a traditional push-up, is going to actually have you really use a lot of musculature only from the triceps, and it's going to make sure that we're not doing that internal rotation or the big range of motion for the front of the shoulder. So to do the Sphinx push-up, you can either do it from your knees, which is actually what I prefer doing with this exercise, but you can also do it from your toes if need be, if you want more of a challenge. But you are going to get into almost a front plank position with your arms parallel to one another and your hands flat on the ground. This is kind of where the Sphinx name comes from, that Egyptian mythological creature. That's what the pose looks like. And from there, in that plank position, you're simply just gonna press yourself upward so that you're taking your elbows and forearms off the ground or the mat and coming up into a straight arm position. And then from there, you lower back down and you repeat that movement. It's as simple as that, and again, because triceps works to predominantly extend or straighten the elbow, well, we're really getting triceps to do the majority of the work for this exercise. Now, some of the pectorals are still working to hold that kind of isometric contraction, and you still got the front deltoid and some other kind of muscles helping out in certain other ways, but really, we are really going after the triceps here, so great type of push-up variation to try if you're looking to really blast your triceps. And again, just like any other type of push-up, if it's almost too easy for you, for someone who's really strong and in really good condition, Simply do this in a way where you're going from a full plank position and then you have a weight vest on or even a backpack, or you could even use that extra weight while also doing this push-up from your knees. Now, if you are finding that the Sphinx push-up is still a little too challenging to do when going from your knees, well, there's a great way to regress it even more, and all that consists of is actually doing this while pressing off of a wall. Now, what's great about this is based on the height that you position your arms against the wall and how much or how little you lean into the wall is really gonna modulate and fine tune the amount of resistance that those triceps have to do in order to complete the movement. And this is really good because a lot of times if we either have an injury that we're recovering from with, wanting to strengthen the triceps and get them healthy again, well, going from the wall, it can be a great kind of rehabilitative approach because we can use almost next to no resistance to do it, but make it appropriate for the triceps muscle to still go through. Now, here's a fun little bonus tip as well. A lot of times you might find that doing the actual tricep styled movement from the Sphinx push-up is gonna almost be a little aggressive on the tendon, that common tendon where the triceps come down and attach onto the elbow. And if you're finding that it's a little too uncomfortable or demanding, a great way to kind of further prep and kind of prepare that triceps tendon to feel a little bit better for the movement is actually to do a set or two against the wall. So by doing a set or two against the wall, what winds up happening is you're just kind of further preparing the tissues for that tricep tendon to then take more of the resistance from the ground. So keep that in mind if you're finding that you like this movement, but it is being a little bit too demanding or uncomfortable on the triceps tendon. So that's really it. Just a quick down and dirty little video showing you how you can do a great triceps dominant exercise from a push-up variation if you're looking to really blast your triceps while also making sure that your shoulders are staying healthy and happy in the process. Now, if you have any other push-up variations that are designed to really challenge the triceps, I'd like to hear about them. Leave them in the comment section below so that I can give them a try for myself. Now, if you found this video to be useful, helpful, or informative in any sort of way, hitting that like button would really make my day and mean a lot to me. And if you want to even take it one step further and make me feel extra special, then consider hitting that subscribe button. So everyone, keep looking after yourselves, keep looking after one another, keep making great things happen, and I will see you in the next video.